Hey everyone, this is Joshua Dolman. This is my third year FMP vlog for my weekly progress. This is the first week, and we'll be getting right into what I've been up to this week. So the main things I've been doing are getting the brief all written out and planning exactly what I need to be doing. So this is the idea for the brief that I've submitted. I submitted it once, so some feedback on it. So I've adjusted it and turn it off again. Hopefully my tutors are pleased with it and we can move along. But in the meantime, I've just started working on some things that they definitely seemed interested in when I first proposed it anyway. So just so I had some work to get done and show. So another thing I've been doing in terms of the planning phase is this is my asset list. Keep track of everything. There may be more added on here, but this is kind of the basic stuff that I know I want to get done. As you can see, I've only started a very little bit because mostly this week has been planning and stuff. Right, so I have this image, which is the kind of the main image that I have for reference right now. This is part of what the issue was. The image itself that I was using as reference did not have enough visual interest. So in the submitted brief, I've made it clear that I'll be adding more to this image. It won't entirely be this image. But the main building blocks that I want to create are based entirely from this image. So I want a bunch of modular pieces that I would be able to recreate this, and hopefully more and more intricate stuff as well. As you can see, I've mapped out what different pieces of the walls that I would need. There are this is still in flux, whether this purple and green will be one piece or whether it will be two separate pieces. It depends on how the corners are going to fit together, but we'll see. We've got a big plain one, etc., etc. So that's how I've kind of defined what main modular pieces I'm going to need in order to recreate this, and of course the balconies and all that stuff, which are separate. Okay, so moving on into the engine, you can look in here. So the majority of this has been space block out to try and figure out what size I need and the scale I want. So if we hit play, we'll see if it actually starts. There we go. So you can kind of see the kind of scale I want for this. Each individual block is 3.5 meters tall. It's still adjusting, still fine tuning, but I want to nail this down sometime this week so I can really start on the production of the assets. As you can see, this is the kind of basic structure that I'm looking at. Very simple for now, but it seems to be going well. Furthermore, I started work on one of the more complicated areas of the project. So part of the brief is focus of the assessment is a more complex window shader that displays interiors. So if you look in Unreal, this is a very first initial pass. So if I slow down the camera, you can see it kind of parallaxes across, so you can it gives you the impression of depth. That's what I've been working on for now. There's definitely some more stuff I can do to it, and I'm basing a lot of this stuff that I'm working on the Assassin's Creed set of windows. So as you can see here, this kind of effect in these GIFs, they're quite low FPS, but you should be able to get the general impression. And if you look down here, you can see it's in here. It's a lot more subtle, and I think I want to emulate that. I'm not 100% sure in which direction I want to take it, how detailed I want the interiors to be. If I want it to be more impressionistic like this, or if I want it to be, with an actual image that you can kind of see exactly what's in the buildings. Up for debate as for now. I quite like this impressionistic result. If we look here, it's a similar thing. That's how the windows looked. Now, Assassin's Creed blends it based on the time of day, so that you have like warm interiors during the nighttime and cool interiors during the day, and you can tell by the lighting. So I want to try and emulate that effect as well, which shouldn't be too hard, but we're gonna see. We haven't explored that at all. And also, if you look, this is the Saints Row game. They do a similar effect, but of course they have some issues because they have quite a clear interior. They have some issues when the camera gets quite small angles between the camera and the plane. So if we look down here in the Bioshock Infinite one, you can see that it fades to a color as you get to these really sharp angles. So that's what we're doing here. It kind of blurs more. I don't know if I'm going to keep that, but the main thing is it kind of fades out to this color so that you can't see what's inside, and so you don't get that weird, really distorted look. So it's going pretty well. Obviously, it's going to depend on the final assets. There are some roughness maps on here, but no normals. So we'll see how it looks with those as well. That can really break it up and make it look a lot nicer. But that's just the test. That's it for this week. For the next week, I'm going to be working on actually getting some assets in the game, finalizing this kind of scale and the way the pieces are going to fit together, and just put my head down and get all that stuff done. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a week. Bye.